Okay, I know this is a very late start, but I want the algorithm to still like me, so we're going to do a quick stream tonight. For those who are watching the stream after the fact, I guess you'll be hearing this. I don't think anyone is online yet, but I've got some builds I need to do, and I also want the algorithm to still like me, as I might have already said, but that is okay. Let's get some music going. And let's see, view your channel. And it might be a while before people join, but that is okay. Let's pop out the chats. Okay, that's like really small. Okay, that's way too big. Something happened to my chat format and it's all messed up. There we go. Hey, Fluid, yeah, we're going to do a light stream. It's not going to be a long one. I want the algorithm to still like me. I do have a little bit of work to do, but I'm trying not to go too crazy with it, considering that I have work in the morning. But that is okay. There we go. We're just going to be pulling up the pictures of the bow. So we're going to be starting the Lego bow and arrow tonight for Susan from Narnia. And we'll see how it goes. There we go. Got my reference image up. Now, we're in this weird position, once again, where the bow is technically painted with gold. And gold is not something I can make a life-size weapon with, because I just don't have that many gold pieces. But we shall figure it out. It'll be okay. So, we have the option of either making the bow yellow, or making it brown. Now, what I'm thinking is do a brown bow and maybe add some yellow detailing. Or maybe just have the grip have some detail, because I think a fully yellow bow will look ridiculous. I think we're going to go with brown. And basically what we're going to be doing is we've got a bunch of these brown tile pieces, and we're going to basically just make a giant curve with them. This is not going to be it's not going to be exactly like the original bow from the prop set, but that is okay because this one is very different. It's very weird. Now, there's a few ways I can do this. There's a handle that's like red, and that I do plan to keep as a reddish color. In fact, I think I might even use the reddish-brown pieces. Not reddish-brown, but like, I don't know. Being colorblind makes naming the colors hard. These ones. We're going to start with these ones versus these ones. So this is going to be the grip. This is going to be the bow itself. And welcome to the stream, Betty, Indica, and Mr. 100. Thank you for joining. This is not going to be a super long stream tonight, but we are going to go for at least a little bit, because I really want to get this bow built. Okay. So we've got the beginning of the bow. Obviously, we're going to layer it some more, and we're going to use some bricks to add some angle to it. Basically, though, we're not going to do... I think I might have to start with shorter pieces. We're not going to try to make the bow exactly the same shape as the one in the show. We're just going for a Lego bow, and we'll see what shape we end up with. And there we go. Do I know when I'll be posting the hints? It's going to be a couple weeks yet. I am very busy right now, which is okay, but it's just a lot of stuff going on. Oh, good stuff. Just a lot of it going on. Okay. I'm starting to think we might actually want to start with bricks and then have it turn into plates, because then it will, because at the moment it's like the handle's thin and then the edges of the bow would be thicker, which is not how a bow works. It gets thinner the closer you get to the edges, is how a typical bow would be shaped. So we will still be using a lot of these pieces, but we're going to adjust our strategy a little bit. But that's how a lot of these life-sized Lego weapons work. It's a lot of build something, pull it apart, try again, over and over and over again. But that's the name of the game. That's how it works. Is you just keep trying things until they work. So I know we want the handle to be in the red, so probably about that long for the handle. The handle does have some yellow detailing. Do I have? There's not really a bunch of sideways building pieces for this. I think I'm just going to go for building the shape first, and then we'll worry about detailing it once we've got the actual shape and structure of this all planned out. Yeah. I think that's going to be the way to go. There we go. Yep, so handle in red. And then basically we just stop building out the bow shape. And I think we'll add a little bit of a curve to this. I need a brick separator. Where is it? There it is. Okay, I got a little bit behind in the comments. Oh, I just broke one of the pieces. I was worried about that with building with a bunch of reddish brown pieces. Now I'm just gonna break everything. Yeah, I've just got a piece that's just stuck there now. And it's broken. Oh well, it happens. Put that to the side. Yeah, that was the one thing I was nervous about with this build, is that it would be, because it's all brown pieces, it's fragile. And thank you to Fluid for saying do. Do the do, hashtag sponsored, not sponsored, hashtag I'm very tired and need caffeine right now. Even though we're not going to stay up super late, this stream's probably going to be about an hour today. There we go. There we go. So now we've got some layering for the handle. You'll notice it fades to like actual brown, and then we've got a reddish handle. So I feel like that's a good start right there. And from here on out, we're probably not going to be using much more reddish brown, if any, at all. I mean, I keep getting... Technically, this brown is called reddish brown. I don't like that it's called reddish brown, because the red brown is more red. So for the intents of this build, I'm going to refer to the red, like the really red one, as reddish brown, and this is brown, even though I know technically, legally, this is reddish brown. But I'm colorblind, I'm going to call it how I see it. Let's see, Flu, do I know when I'm going to be posting the hints? It'll be in a few weeks yet. So just stay tuned as far as hints go. It'll be a little bit longer yet. A deciding factor, honestly, is just that I want more of the video animated before I am dropping hints. Because I feel like that's mean to you if I'm dropping hints about what the next animation is and then it comes out in like 2 months. I'm hoping it's not that long, but we'll see. Okay. Put the bow. We want it to go at least a good amount longer, but I think we need it to curve a little faster now. Got a straight part. So now what we're going to do is we're going to switch to 2x4s so that we can add a bit more of a curve. Yeah, I think this will work. Obviously, I'm going to add pieces to reinforce this. Right now, it's not super stable, but this is going to get stronger. Will it be better if I do it like that? Yeah, that's going to make the connection a little bit stronger. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2x4s, and then after putting that in, we'll see how we're doing as far as size goes. Got 4 and 5. So at the moment, it's still a pretty short bow. So I think now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the long ones. We'll do a long one and then some more short ones to add more of a curve. Let's do 3 more. At the moment, this is going to be pretty fragile because we haven't reinforced it yet. But you don't want to reinforce your build before you know what shape you're making it. I am going to try to add a string to this bow that's just Lego plates. It probably won't be very strong, but I think I've got a theory on how I can make it. Okay, this is definitely starting to look like a bow. And I do think once we add reinforced pieces that it will actually take to a nice shape. So I think now, the thing to remember is that the weapons for Narnia are technically for children. So you don't want to make them too big. Because that is what we're making. We're making a bow. Let's see. And, oh, thank you, Fluid. It's nice having a mod. I'm used to having to, I'm not used to seeing deleted comments, so thank you. But yes, please no cussing in the chat. This is a family-friendly channel and a family-friendly stream. Okay, I know part of me's like, there are people who could make really detailed things. Like, I know that there are other people that could make super detailed things out of this. But it's more important that these be durable, because these are going to be handled by actual cast members of the Narnia show. There's a Narnia show being held by Logos Theater over at the Wilkes Theater in Branson, Missouri. If you actually use my username, well, an abbreviated form of it, K Comedies, at the checkout, you actually get a discount on this show. So, man, I'm feeling like it's a small bow. I don't know. Should I go long? How long is the actual bow? It looks pretty big. It's like 1, 2. I feel like if I go too big, though, it's not going to be strong anymore, and strength is more important in this case. Let's see. Is that old Lego behind me? Yes, Corrupted. It is old Lego behind me. James, hello from South Africa. So awesome to bump into you live. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Welcome from America. There we go. I'm going to kind of dump all these. There we go. Because now what we're doing is we're reinforcing the actual curve of the bow with plate pieces. Because basically what provides the strength in Lego builds is actually how many times pieces are connected. It's not just the piece themselves. Because a lot of Lego bricks are hollow, so it's the connection that actually makes it nice and strong. Kind of like with people. It doesn't really matter how many people you have. If they're not united together well, they're not very good. So I guess there's a life lesson in there somewhere. I also apparently do not have many 2x3 pieces. I'm going to have to note that as I continue making this. But yeah, as I'm adding these, I will also add reinforcements to the front, but we're going to reinforce the back of the bow first. And then reinforce the front, because the front won't need to be reinforced quite as much as my theory. I could be wrong on that. I could be wrong. But as of right now, I think that it's more important we reinforce the back of the bow. There we go. So you notice right here now? Yep. you'll notice that it broke from the front, not from the back. So at least there's that. So the back pieces of the bow are reinforced well. We've just got to reinforce everything else now. And I think I put this together, right? Yes, I did. Just gonna make sure. Oh, no, I did not. I skipped a piece. There we go. We want our bow to be symmetrical. That'd be not a good looking bow if it was not. I'm just gonna double check. 1, 2, 2 by 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, it is symmetrical again. Let's see. Fluid. Oh, wow, South Africa, do you get good frogs over there? I think they have frogs there. Just in case you're wondering, frogs are a big deal on this channel. They keep popping up in the stop motions in the backgrounds. They don't really go away. They just stick around forever. I just realized is we're going to actually use some regular bricks in the reinforcements. I know this is going to make the bow a little bulky, but again, this is what's going to make it nice and strong, and we should save some of the plate pieces for the front. Where do I buy my Lego at? I get a lot of my most of these pieces are actually just from sets that I've pulled apart at this point, but some of them if I need to just order bulk pieces, I go through Bricklink is what I order my pieces from. So essentially, it's like eBay, but just Lego bricks is all that it sells. So there's a bunch of Lego stores on there. So that's what I recommend for buying Lego. Let's see. This is going to be tricky. Finding a few things that need to be reinforced a little bit more. There we go. Okay, how are we looking? Okay, not too bad right now. This is what we've got so far for the shape of the bow. It is definitely getting stronger. It is definitely still a weird shape, though, to try and build. So it is definitely testing my patience a little bit, ever so slightly. But yeah, as I said before, it is more important that the bow be strong than it be a thin bow. Where in America are you from? Your accent, Wisconsin. So I live in America, but I'm from Australia. So that's why I do not sound American, if that was confusing you. But no, I'm in Missouri. Although, obviously, I don't sound like I'm from Missouri. There we go. Now that I'm realizing this, if I reinforce this enough from the back, I won't actually need to reinforce the front, which is good, because I'm running out of pieces that could reinforce the front well. Okay, how sturdy is this right now? I kind of shake the bow, swing it around. Ah! Well, if it's any consolation, the pieces that fell off the bow fell off in like 2 big chunks. So that's actually a good sign, I think. Although a few pieces did pop off. But we're getting it. We're getting there. You gotta test your builds, make sure they're strong. Let's see. Yeah, that's all of them. So it fell off in chunks, so I know where the weak points are. And it's the edges, and then it's right at the connection of the handle. So we're going to reinforce that connection to the handle itself. And I think I'm going to actually use some of the reddish brown pieces. Hey, Go Play Creations. Currently sick with strep throat again, but don't worry, I got a shot so I could be healing soon. How am I doing? I'm doing well. I'm pretty tired. Life's been very busy lately, but it is going well. Just very, very busy. Let's do it like so. Okay, that should reinforce the handle itself. Now it's looking more like we need to just reinforce the edges of the bow. That. Let's see. I think we're just gonna have to make the edge of the bow just a little bit thicker. This is one of these things that if I glued my builds, I could definitely build it with thin pieces. But I don't glue my builds, partially because I don't like to, and two, I don't have enough money to keep buying pieces every time I make a new build. So, but that's okay. And this is actually making the bow look a little bit more like a war bow, like actually having some strength to it, which I think is good. Even though, yes, this bow is wielded by Susan from Narnia, so it shouldn't be too big. Otherwise, it'd be like, how is a child going to pull this? But it is a magical bow, and it is, in the books, it's noted that whenever the kids go to Narnia, they're actually stronger than they are in, like, real, ordinary life. So I suppose I should take that into account as well. Okay, so I think now the bow should be pretty strong. Can shake it. Yeah, so we've got the actual bow shape. And that turned out pretty well. And it's fairly comfortable to hold, and I know for a fact that the actress who wields the bow in the show has smaller hands than I do. So because it's a little bit small for me, so it should be about perfect size for her then. So that means next, what we're going to do is we are going to add a little bit of detail to the handle, and then we're going to figure out if we can make a string. Now the string is essentially just going to be white bricks layered. I don't know if I have enough to do that though, so that's going to be a little open to interpretation of how we're going to do it. Okay, let's see. Oh, the new Moana movie is decent. Oh, no, it won't be Disney. He's not great right now, not going to lie. Here's my thing. Making something live action does not automatically make it better, and we need to stop pretending that it does. Some stories are just genuinely better told through animation. And I actually think that some superheroes work that way. Like, for example, I'm of the opinion that if you want to make a good story about Green Lantern, he's kind of a dumb superhero, in the sense that his power is really weird. So you should stop trying to do him in live action and just do him as a cartoon. It makes more sense in my head. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it that way, I just think he works better as a cartoon character. And I think a few superheroes fall into that category. But it's the same thing with like a lot of like the Disney princess movies and all the fantastical stuff. A lot of it looks better when it's just fully CGI. And I'm hoping the movie's at least fun to watch, but if it just ends up being exactly the same as the original Moana, just live action, then what was the point of it being made? Is kind of my whole stance on that. Okay. There are a few ways to make the string to this. And I feel like no matter what I do, it's going to be ever so slightly wrong. But we will figure this out. Okay. I think there's every chance that making this string is going to make the bow really unstable, but I'm going to try it. Because if we can have a string that's built out of Lego pieces, it'd be really cool. Okay. Man, I am behind on chat. I thought that with how late it was, it would be kind of a slow chat day. Okay. Mario Galaxy movie is going to be so peak. Yeah, I definitely see the Mario Galaxy movie outperforming anything Disney does next year. I am very excited for the Mario Galaxy movie, and I also think, you'll notice, if you were here at my last live stream, I predicted that Toad's going to become Captain Toad, and I know that's not that crazy of a take, but I think I'm right, because in the trailer, Toad is wearing like a safari outfit, like what Captain Toad wears, and I'm just like, oh, could I be right about a movie prediction for once? It'd be so cool. Okay, this string's actually ending up stronger than I thought it would be. So this is, I don't know if it's a false sense of security I'm getting right now, but I'm actually feeling pretty good about this bowstring. Connecting it to the both ends at the same time will be tricky, but I feel like I'm in the right direction. Okay, so I feel like right now, at this point, I should connect the string on one side. This part, I think, is a very good chance that it will still be at least a little unstable. So it's going to be at least a little fragile. But a bow has got to have a string. Otherwise, it's just a stick. Okay. So, I think we want a piece long enough to match to the end of that. And it's somehow a stud off. That is literally impossible. At least I feel like it should be. Let's just try like so. Okay, so we actually want to adjust a little bit here. Sorry you can't really see this part of the string. It's a little... I can't really lift this without the whole thing collapsing. It's also weirdly strong in some ways and then really weak in other ways, which I don't really get how that works. Let's see. Gonna catch up on chat. FNAF Lego should definitely happen for a minifigure series. It'd be cool clicking the animatronics or even maybe the purple guy. I've never played the game. But I don't know, does that fall too much into not family-friendly territory? It's kind of hard to tell. Because, I mean, I know it's technically kind of a horror game, but it's also like a kid's horror game. So I don't really know where that falls on the family-friendly scale. Okay, I think the bowstring is the correct length now. So I just need to look at how I attached it on this end and see if that will work. Oh, guys, it's gonna work. Yes. This is going to look really cool. It has a bowstring. It worked. It actually worked. And it even like wobbles a little bit like an actual string. Like, it is a little flimsy. I'm gonna reinforce the edges a bit. But this is a bow. This is a bow and arrow. It looks like what it's supposed to. And I feel like it doesn't look stupid. I'm excited. This actually looks way better than I was expecting. Especially considering we've been building for like half an hour. Thank you, Fluid, for taking care of the chat. I appreciate that. It is so much nicer having a mud now versus back when I didn't have one. I appreciate that. Okay. Let's see. The Minecraft movie's funny. I actually haven't seen it, but I've heard that it falls into the category of so bad that it like becomes funny. But yeah, I don't know. I can't really speak on the virtues of the Minecraft movie because I have not seen it. But I will say that that actually falls into the category of if you want to make a good Minecraft movie, animate it. Don't do real people. That's weird. Okay. I'm gonna add some pieces to reinforce the string so that it's connected on more than one angle. And there are some pieces in here that would be helpful to have. Let's make the bow nice and have little wings on the top, for lack of a better word, whatever they're technically called. Oh, no, that piece doesn't go in that bucket, it goes in this one. Go. And if I did this right, this should be able to kind of connect. I did this wrong. It is not. Oh, wait. Oh, we need something with the hole studs. What's that called? There's a way to connect these. Let me see. There's a piece that I know would help. I don't think I have it in brown, is the problem here. Although I will check. Oh, I do have some, actually. So these pieces have holes in them, and they can connect on the anti-studs a little easier. Okay, and I'm also noticing there's a couple bowstrings that have a little bit of yellowing on them. I'm gonna adjust it a little bit for the ones that are really yellowed. It's okay if it's got a little bit of yellowing, but we don't want the whole thing. Like this one has a really bad yellow stain on it. There we go. There we go. You started singing FNAF songs in your head because you have nothing better to do tonight. Okay. I mean, I just don't know anything about FNAF, so I just don't have anything to add to that. I'm just like, okay, I'll, take your word for it. But I feel like he pops up a lot in the chat. Go play creations. I'm gonna head out because it's 1 a.m. my time and I'm getting up early. Yeah, I'm getting up a little early tomorrow, but not too early. So I'm gonna stay up for now, but not too awful late. This is not going to be a multi-hour stream. This is going to be an hour-ish is my goal. Okay, I was hoping I had more of this piece, but it appears that I do not. But that's okay. Because Lego studs with holes in them will also fit in this bow. And I'm realizing, actually I should, never mind, I'm adjusting my plan a little bit right now. Do I have that piece in white? I do. So we can use white on the string so that the string doesn't have a random brown patch on it. I'll show you what I'm talking about once I've added the pieces. This is a tricky one in the sense that if I move this while it's not stable, the whole thing will fall apart again. Hey Adrian, welcome to the stream. We are currently making a Lego bow and arrow. I'll lift it up to show you in a moment. I've just got to get it to a point where it's a little more stable. Okay. I am still running into some issues here. Oh, because that would connect. Aha. We're going to use a jumper cable. Well, not jumper cable. We're going to use a jumper piece. Again, I will show you what I am talking about once this part has been attached. And then it will make sense, all the gibberish that I'm spouting right now. Need a 2x... No, not 2x6, 1x6. There we go. Let's see. Watching this movie in inverted colors right now, is it a turtle? As in, you're watching this stream in inverted colors, or you're watching like a different movie in inverted colors? Okay, for those who have just joined, here's the bow and arrow. And what I was adding just now is at first the string was only connected at this point right here. I've added a connection here to keep it stronger. I am wondering if I should make this piece white. I'm not sure. What do you think? This piece right here, should that be white or should I leave it brown like it's holding the bow? You're watching the stream with inverted colors. I have white hair now. Okay, I'm seeing mixed reviews on the color. And just a reminder, please, to refrain from coarse language. This is a family-friendly stream. Just makes it so that we can make sure we've got kids in the live stream as well. I like to have everybody here. But thank you so much. Let's see. I'm seeing both brown and white. I feel like brown makes more sense. Let's see. Yeah, the bow won't be able to shoot arrows. No, it will not be able to shoot arrows. This is purely a display piece. I feel like trying to add anything else there would be over-engineering it, and I feel like that's a trap. So we're going to leave it as it is for now as far as the string goes. However, we are going to add, on the actual bow for the show, on the handle, there's like an S in gold on the handle for Susan. Now, I'm not going to be able to use gold pieces, probably. I will try, but I might be putting in some carving on the handle in yellow. Let's see. I could add some gold. No, let's see if we can add some gold texture to the bow and just see how it looks. We'll just do one side of it for now, so that if it doesn't work, we're not having to deconstruct an entire side, both sides of the bow. Although I am liking the gold detail. So this one is falling more into we're inspired by the original bow, but having to make our own creative decisions so that I actually have the pieces required to make this. And I also just dropped a gold piece on the floor. Okay, so right now, so if I'm just adding some gold detail on the end, adding a little bit of a finish. And I know I said I was going to wait before direct editing the other side, but I'm liking what it looks like. So I'm just going to start doing both, because I'm already like, oh yeah, I want to do it this way. GT, am I rich? I mean, I'm not, like, broke, but, like, I'm not living off of YouTube, if that answers your question. The reason I've got so much Lego is that I've just been collecting Lego for a very long time. So, this is more a show of how much time I put into this versus, like, it's a lot of money, but it's money over vast amounts of time, not over, not all at once. So, but I'm not hurting, so I guess that's the best way to put it. And I'm noticing a weak connection here. I bet we can fix that with the gold pieces. We can, yes. Okay. There we go. Hopefully I have more of those pieces I just used. Otherwise, that technique will not work on both sides. I just need a gold 2x2 jumper. Do I only have one of those? I have a second one. Okay, good. So I'm able to add a little bit more strength to that part there. And let's see. Can add some, like, I don't know, nice flourish to the side. Now that might be a bit much. It's kind of tricky knowing when you have added. It's trying to figure out what the perfect amount of detail is can be tricky, because you don't want to overdo it, and then it looks ridiculous. But if you don't do enough, like fully commit to the decorations, that also doesn't work. So it's a lovely like time trying to figure out how much detail do I add? What's too much detail? Go. I'm losing track of a piece that I thought I had two of. That's not good. We'll do something else for that then. Oh yeah, that'll work, actually. I'm just gonna keep adding a little bit of gold detail here and there. Let's see. Do I make any Lego kits? I do not make Lego kits myself. I've had people suggest that I should, so it's something I'd be interested in doing later. Just not at this present moment. If I were though, what would you like to see kits made of? Like, I suppose life-size weapons, but like, there are lots of people that make life-size Lego weapons, and to be honest, much better than I can. But yeah, if I did make Lego kits, what would you like to see? Because there's so many different, like, that's the whole point of Lego, you can build whatever you want. So what would you want to see? I'm gonna add an S on the handle. That is going to be a slightly stylized S. I keep dropping pieces, and in this lighting, it's very hard to tell what's on the floor. Oh, there it is. Ugh. Okay, so it's a little bit small, but we've got an S on the bow. I know it's backwards for you, but it is on their prop. They do have an S on the bow for Susan. I'm trying to think, what other gold pieces do I have over here? I have gold studs. I could use those to adorn the bow. Let's see. Do I sell Lego? I do not sell my Lego. I occasionally trade things in, but that is a rare occurrence that I trade things in. I actually probably will be doing it soonish. But the only reason I'm doing that is because it's sets that I could never animate with. And if I can't animate with a Lego set, because it's easier to do, a lot of what I do on this channel is building oriented. My main thing that I like doing on YouTube is actually stop motion animation. But I only have so much time So I supplement the animating with making these builds. But yeah, so I don't generally sell my Lego. Okay. Let's see, trying to find a piece that I could have sworn I had more of. Why is it every time I'm like, this piece would be perfect? That's like the one piece that I don't have two of. Because with the bow, I need to have two of everything that I use to display it. There we go. Adding some more gold. Yeah, that's gonna look cool. Okay. Oh, that's why I added that piece on one side and not on the other. So I did have two. I just skipped a step, I guess. I don't know if skipped a step is the correct wording because there aren't instructions for this. I'm making it up as I go along. Which is how I do the majority of life, to be honest. Okay, so here's the detailing we've got so far. We've got the S on the bow. We've got some right there, and then some gold on the very end. I'm thinking we might add a little bit of gold here, and then that will get it to a full... I think that'll get it pretty much finished. I am noticing a few weak points here, but I don't really think there's a lot I can do. I'm going to try and reinforce it just a little bit. There's one point in particular that keeps bending just a little. Okay, let's just do this. See if we can point out the weak points. So one's there. Okay, yeah. Okay. And I think I just saw a serious question, Stoic versus Grug, as in from the Croods, which is actually a surprisingly good question. I like Stoic as a character more, because I'm not super wild about the Croods. Like, I'm not saying it's an awful movie, I just don't quite get all the hype around it. I get some of the hype. But I just am not quite as crazy over it. I feel like Grug has more, like, raw strength, but Stoic's just such a good fighter. And I also haven't seen the second Crude, so I don't know if, like, he does something later that makes him way more powerful. I don't know. But I feel like Grug is technically stronger, so he'd probably wear Stoic down eventually. Okay, let's see. Is it strong enough now? Is there a weak point? Kind of. Although I don't really know what to do with that weak point. Actually... there is a possible thing I can do if I can modify this ever so slightly. I don't think... okay, could I make this the strongest bow ever? Maybe. Is it something that I can realistically do and have this build made for them on time? No. So we're just going to be careful. And if it breaks while I'm filming it with them, then that's on me. Okay, we've got a little bit more gold detailing added. Do I want gold detailing on the inside? Probably not, because that wouldn't make much sense, because that's the part of the bow that technically bends. I think we're going to call this bow good. So the bow is done. We've got the gold detailing on the edge. We've got the string of the bow. The handle's all decorated. And I think we're going to call it good as it is. So I'm going to put that to the side for now. If I can find a place to put it. And let's put all these gold pieces to the side. And let's see. I'm glad you're liking the bow. I'll be honest, it was the build I was the most worried about, and I think I actually built that quicker than I built the dagger, which is the one I was least worried about, so go figure. Okay, I dropped some things on the floor. Okay, there we go. Okay, so one more thing though for the bow is that technically I feel like I should build an arrow. And what's funny is that for the actual prop from the show, if you've ever read the Narnia books, you'll know that in the first one, Susan doesn't actually really fire her bow at all. It's like she can, she just doesn't, I think. But so all I know is that for the actual prop piece, the arrows don't actually come out of the quiver. I don't think I'm going to try and build the full quiver because it's big and I'm going to run out of pieces soon if I keep doing this. But we're going to try and make... I'm going to actually need the bow back. We're going to try and make an arrow that's proportional to this. Is it actually going to be shot? No, but it will look cool. And inevitably, for a bow, for the arrow, we're going to have to use some Technic pins. Which means it is going to be a little bit of a bulky arrow, but that's okay. Again, this isn't a bow that is actually going to be firing, and it would be better if the arrow is just, like, actually looks like an arrow, versus it trying to fire, and it's just fragile and doesn't look good at all. Okay, now, I'll be honest, proportionally, I don't know how long an arrow is supposed to be compared to the bow. But I'm thinking that the arrow should be close to the length of the bow. In my head, that sounds correct. If we have any archers in the chat, please correct me. But that sounds right in my head. And because it's a made-up Narnia land, I can kind of make the bow however I want. And I just realized I pulled up my reference image, chat disappeared. There we go. Should make Aragorn's sword from Lord of the Rings. That would be really cool. I actually have a friend who's made one, and I don't know if he sells the instructions, but I met a guy who made one, and it is very cool. Now, one thing that's funny is that because the bow is never fired in the show, I know what color the feathers on the bow are. I don't know what color the head of the arrow is. So I'm just going to go out on a limb and guess that the tip is either gold or silver. I'm going to go with gold because it will look cool. I don't know if I have enough gold pieces to do that, but I'm going to try to. Okay, yeah, I think I'm good on length for now. I know it's a very wobbly arrow, but technically arrows do wobble when they're flying through the air. So that's just me being super accurate with my bow, because I am a talented Lego builder that totally didn't lose a Lego building competition. It was a sad day for Chris comedies. But yeah, here we go. We've got a gold tip to the arrow. I'm going to see if I can make it a little bit more menacing. I probably won't be able to because it kind of falls into the whole limit of Lego pieces that I own in gold. But I really want the arrow to be gold. So I think, you know what? We're going to leave that arrow tip how it is. And I'm just going to make the tail of the arrow, which has red feathers. And I know I have red angle pieces somewhere. If I have it in like the dark red, that would be cool. But I don't think I have that piece in the dark red. I do not. That's sad. Oh, wait. Do I? Maybe? I do not. Oh, well. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to build the tail of the bow, which is it going to be perfectly scientifically accurate? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Kind of depends on just what I can make. I'm going to pull up my reference image again. And thank you, Fluid. You are doing a great job. Okay, I'm noticing that I think, yeah, the tail of the arrows is gold and red, but we're just going to do red. Because otherwise I actually have no clue how I'm going to do it. Let's see. Like so. Okay. Trying to find the correct pieces, stretching my brain cells. Okay. Okay, so here we've got the actual arrow. I know it's simple, but an arrow doesn't really need to be that complicated. And now I'm going to hold it up against the bow like I'm drawing it and see if it looks like it actually could be fired from that bow or if it looks stupid. But hopefully it doesn't look stupid. I know it's going to wobble a lot. That's okay. I just want it to be that if I pose with the bow and arrow, it looks like it could fire. Yeah, that might be just a little long, actually. I'm going to take out at least... Let's try one section, but we might actually take out 2 sections. Okay, I think 1 might be it. There we go. Okay, let's try that again. Bow and arrow. There we go, yeah. That feels much more natural. Pull it back. Fire. Yeah, we've got a bow and arrow. Yay. This is honestly the build I was the most worried about making. So the fact that it's done makes me a very happy man. And it's relatively sturdy. Like, I can't really shake it too much. But it's stronger than it has any right to be, considering it was made just in under an hour. And most of the bow is actually in half an hour. So we've got Susan's bow and arrow. So I'm going to look at the time real quick to decide. Oh, we're going to try to continue. Oh, are you saying that the arrow is still a little bit long? Or was that is that before I fixed it? Let's see. Okay, yeah. So just before. Okay. So I think arrow is done, bow is done. So basically all we've got is Susan's horn and Peter's shield. Not shield, his sword. Do I have time to do that tonight? Let's see. I do have to be waking up pretty soon. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you what I've made so far. And then we're going to call it a night. I know it's a shorter stream, but we started later. And I've got an earlier shift tomorrow. But before we get to... let me pause the music. Where did the music go? Where are you? It's not working. What is going on? I can't get to the actual... Where did I put the actual YouTube? Oh, you know what? That's okay. We'll just leave the music on. Excuse me. So, for today's Bible verse of the day, then, we're going to be doing... Actually, you know what? For today's Bible verse for the live stream, we're going to be doing one that I just did as a YouTube short. So, I can't remember the reference, but it is, "Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise." And basically, the lesson of that is don't be lazy. Work hard, and you'll actually have food in the winter. So that's going to be our Bible verse for the day, is to work hard, do your very best. And now let's end the stream, but first I'm going to show you what I've made so far. So for Lucy, she gets a dagger. So we've got this dagger. I don't have enough gold to make the handle and dagger. I know it makes the handle look like it's a banana peel. And then we've got her healing cordial. That's kind of just like a magical potion. I'm sorry, Duck. We are about to finish this stream. But yeah, so we've got the healing cordial that Lucy uses to heal people. So we've got dagger and cordial. Then for Peter, we've got one of his gifts made, which is his shield. And if you look closely, not even closely, Aslan's face is on there. It's like in a red emboss layer on there. And that was honestly one of the hardest parts, was just the detailing. If you look at the back, it's just a bunch of pieces to try and make it strong. Kind of looks like a Transformers face. We also got Technic pieces holding the handle together, if you look closely. And then last, but definitely not least, we got the bow and arrow done today for Susan. So next time, if I live stream it, we'll see. I might make it and then show it in the video later. We'll be making a sword and horn. The sword for Peter and the horn for Susan. But yeah, we've got a bow and arrow, and I couldn't be happy with how it came out. I am very happy with how it came out, actually. So you all have a good one, and I'll catch you next time. And remember, God is good.